Stop right there. If you watched Cody Rhodes vs Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 38 and you didn't feel your stomach drop at least once, then either you were emotionally numb that night, or you're lying to yourself. Because this match wasn't just the great main event. It was disrespect. It was arrogance. It was rage measured in stomps, elbows, and broken momentum until Cody Rhodes finally had to stand in front of everything he wanted and everything he feared. And the part that makes me furious, it's not just what happened in the ring. It's why it happened. This was one of those WrestleMania moments where you can practically feel the entire WWE Universe arguing in real time. Half the crowd yelling Cody like the word itself is a spell, the other half wanting to see Rollins prove he's still the architect of chaos. And the tension kept building, like someone tightened a belt around your chest and refused to loosen it. So if you're watching this on Wrestling Zone 1, you know the deal. We don't just recap matches, we break down every second, every turning point, and every moment that made you go no way out loud. Now keep listening, because by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why this match still burns in people's minds, and why this Saturday main event became a flashpoint for what wrestling should be: personal, painful, and impossible to ignore. Quick comment challenge: 1 answer in the comments. Trivial question: who do you think had the bigger main character aura that night, Cody or Rollins? No wrong answers, but I wanna see people commit. Comment 1 name. Setting the stage: WrestleMania 38 Saturday energy. WrestleMania 38 felt different from other big shows. It wasn't just spectacle, it was pressure. Pressure on Cody to finish the story. Pressure on Seth to prove he wasn't done being the best. Pressure on the audience to pick a side and stay there even when the match started twisting their emotions like a wrestling knot you can't undo. Cody Rhodes entered with the kind of certainty that only comes when you've already been through hell. He wasn't just carrying ambition, he was carrying history. Every glance, every breath, every step toward the ring felt like a statement: you don't get to take this from me. Seth Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins was the opposite energy. Seth doesn't just want to win. Seth wants to interfere with fate. He wants the victory to feel like a lesson, like a reminder that your moment can be stolen, mocked, and punished. And that's what makes this matchup so nasty in the best way. This wasn't a clash of styles only. It was a clash of intentions. Cody wanted the win clean. Seth wanted the win complete. And once those goals met inside the ring, the match became a war. Early momentum, the feeling out phase that still felt like danger at first. It doesn't look like a fight. It looks like chess. Both men tested distance, patience, and timing. You could see Cody trying to control the pace, trying to keep Seth from turning every exchange into a brutal reset. And you could see Seth constantly looking for the crack in Cody's rhythm, because if Seth could disrupt Cody's momentum once, twice, 3 times, Cody would start fighting uphill. This is where you notice something important. Cody's offense wasn't just about damage. It was about belief. Every time he connected, it wasn't only pain, it was confidence returning to his game plan. But Seth's responses were sharper, more deliberate, less emotional. That's the theme. Cody fights like the story matters. Seth fights like the story is something he can rewrite. Quick comment challenge: 2 answer in the comments. Trivial question: in your opinion, who's the more dangerous when they are losing control, Cody or Rollins? 1 word answer. Pick a name. The first big exchanges, where the match stops being wrestling and starts being survival. Here's when the crowd's mood flips from excitement to tension. Because the match stops feeling like 2 athletes trading moves and starts feeling like 2 men fighting for oxygen. Seth began to build those sequences where he looks almost calm, like he's letting you make mistakes. Cody tries to regain the pace. Seth denies him. Cody hits a moment of hope. Seth counters. Cody tries to turn defense into offense. Seth turns that into a trap. You can feel it when a match becomes personal. It's not only the crowd reacting. It's the way the wrestlers sell each other's intensity. Cody's strikes looked like they had weight. Not comedy weight, real weight. Rollins' offense felt like it was always aimed at taking Cody's legs out from under him physically and emotionally. Because Seth doesn't want you standing tall. Seth wants you thinking, what if this never ends? And Cody refuses. But refusing costs something. Every time Cody tries to push forward, Seth pulls him back toward the center of chaos. Crowd heat, when every near fall feels like a punch. Wrestling fans love near falls because they simulate heartbreak. You want it to happen. You don't want it to happen. Your brain argues with your heart. And in this match, the near falls didn't feel like hope. They felt like almost losing your mind. The crowd kept roaring because every time a finisher setup happened, you didn't just believe it could end. You believed it could end in a way that would break your spirit, like the match could ruin the story you came to see. That's the best part about intense WrestleMania matches. They don't just win you over. They make you responsible for your own emotions. You don't watch quietly, you invest, you choose. And when Cody gets close, the crowd begs. When Seth gets close, the crowd panics. That back and forth reaction is what makes this match so unforgettable. Not because it's perfect but because it feels alive. Quick comment challenge 3. Answer in the comments. Trivial question: what moment had you yelling the most? Cody's big move or Rollins' momentum swing? Tell me the moment. Short answer: the psychological war. Seth freaking Rollins doesn't just wrestle, he disrupts. Let's talk psychology, because this is where Seth becomes terrifying. Cody is the guy who tries to look at the problem and solve it. Seth is the guy who looks at the problem and causes it to multiply. When Seth takes control, it's not random, it's not luck, it's pattern. Seth makes you hesitant, and then he punishes that hesitation. Seth makes you reach, then he attacks when you're committed. Seth makes you think about a move you want to hit, then he forces you to defend something else. Cody tries to maintain his structure. Seth tries to erase Cody's structure. And that's why Seth's offense always seems like it carries an extra layer. It's like his attacks don't just hurt, they take away options. Meanwhile, Cody's counters, when they land, aren't just counters. They are reminders. I still get to decide what happens next. The turning point, when Cody starts fighting like he's mad, not just motivated. At some point, Cody's body language changes. You can see it in the way he moves and the way he guards. It's like the match stops being about winning the championship and turns into winning the right to breathe. That matters, because WrestleMania is not only a stage, it's a pressure chamber. And Cody's story thrives on pressure. That's how legends are forged, under intense heat until something pure remains. So when Cody begins to string together offense with urgency, you know something's happening in his head. He's getting closer to that mindset where he stops negotiating with the match and starts taking ownership. Seth senses it, and Seth doesn't allow ownership for free. He tries to interrupt. He tries to reprogram Cody's rhythm. He tries to remind Cody that this isn't a fairy tale, this is survival. And the match becomes louder inside your chest because you realize, if Cody wins, it's not just a victory, it's a statement. If Seth wins, it's proof Cody's moment can be stolen. And now you're not just watching two men, you're watching a future get decided in real time. That match-ending energy, the part where your brain starts counting seconds, you know that moment in wrestling where time slows, where you feel the match is approaching something huge, but nobody can confirm it. That's this section. This is where the match becomes a countdown. Every exchange feels like it could be the last one. Every shift in stance feels like a fuse being lit. You're locked in because the match is no longer about showing athletic ability. It's about staying upright, finding an opening, not hesitating, not regretting, not getting caught in the same trap twice. Cody's determination becomes sharper. Seth's intensity becomes more ruthless. And the crowd is basically acting like a second referee, reacting on instinct, screaming on timing, and punishing the silence between moves with rage and hope. It's the kind of chaos that only WrestleMania can create. Quick comment challenge 4. Answer in the comments. Trivial question: what do you remember more clearly, Cody's momentum comeback or Seth's methodical control? Pick one and explain in one sentence. Full breakdown mindset: why this match worked even if you didn't like one side. Here's the truth: you can love Cody and still respect Seth. You can hate Seth and still admit his genius. This match works because both men brought the right kind of fire. Cody brought resolve, story-driven urgency, a finish the fight mindset. Seth brought psychological intimidation, precision timing, chaos that felt intentional. This wasn't two wrestlers trying to do cool moves. It was two wrestlers trying to win a war, and that's why the match felt like more than sport. It felt like consequence. WrestleMania doesn't just reward physical dominance, it rewards emotional endurance. And both men endured everything the match threw at them. The result, why the aftershock still lives in fans' heads. Whatever your feelings about the outcome, the real takeaway is this: after WrestleMania 38 Saturday, you didn't just remember who won. You remembered the feeling, you remembered the tension. You remembered the near falls that made you clench your jaw. You remembered how Seth turned offense into pressure and Cody turned pressure into fury. This match became a reference point for what big fight wrestling looks like. It wasn't just a chapter in the rivalry, it was a full page ripped out of your wrestling memory. That's why people still debate it. That's why people still argue about who deserved what. That's why fans rewatch it even after time has moved on. Because the match wasn't built to be forgotten. It was built to burn. Final segment: WrestleMania 38 Saturday deserved this moment, and so did you. If you're still watching this script to the end, I know you're the type of fan who cares about details. You care about story. You care about timing. You care about why a wrestler sells a moment the way they do. So here's where I want you to participate, because Wrestling Zone 1 doesn't just ask questions for fun. We ask questions because your answers tell us who you really are as a wrestling fan. Final comment challenge 5, answer in the comments. Trivial question: if you could pick one, would you rather fight like Cody Resolve or outsmart like Seth Chaos? Reply with Cody or Seth, and why in one line. And one more, because I want to see the comments explode. Anger check question: what's the one moment in this match that you think was the turning point? Even if you're biased, I want your raw opinion. Comment it, then tag a friend who needs to be reminded why this match mattered. Call to action, share and stay for next. So go ahead, drop your answers in the comments. Tell me who you think won the psychological battle. Tell me where you think the momentum truly flipped. Tell me if you were screaming or silently fuming. And if this match gave you that I need to rewatch feeling, then share this video with someone who thinks wrestling is just entertainment. Because when it's this intense, it's not just entertainment. It's war, inside a ring, under bright lights, with thousands of voices begging the same question: will the story finish, or will it get stolen again?